Hey guys, I want to talk to you briefly today about what is called negative equity. Last night I was having an interesting conversation with a fellow realtor of mine that I highly regard, and simultaneously as I was speaking to him, I had somebody reach out to me on Facebook Messenger about a current situation that she was in. This is somebody that is actually my past employee, so I was privileged that she reached out to me. Aside from that, what happened was while she had moved away to another country for a short period of time to deal with family issues, she had a situation where her husband, they live in another city, had purchased a property without her. Now, her husband speaks English but doesn't read and write English. He was represented by an agent from a different city other than where he purchased. And what ended up happening was he paid $200,000 over the list price. Now, I pulled up the listing and took a look at it, and unfortunately, he purchased it during the frenzy at the high spot of this year, which was in essentially like March, April, and he again paid $200,000 over the list price. So I pulled up the comparables in that particular area, and unfortunately, in my personal opinion, he did overpay for that property comparable to what sold in that area that was similar property, similar size, similar bedrooms, etc., etc. So he is now in a situation that he has negative equity in his property. What does negative equity mean? Negative equity means what you paid for something is higher than what the actual value of the property is worth. Now, it may take, because real estate is a long game, for this particular property, he might be anywhere from 10, 15 to 20 years to actually have the property reach the value of what he paid for it. Generally, real estate is a 5 to 10 year cycle, depending on where you purchase in the cycle, and the value will appreciate in that time. Real estate always appreciates unless you purchase something and pay too much for it. So there's a situation right now where this is stifling them from a credit perspective. Unfortunately, this is definitely something. I gave her the name of a lawyer to speak to because she's not understanding the whole deposit situation. And I think, I don't know the whole situation because I haven't seen any of the contracts and I don't know what was written in the contracts. So I did give her the name of a very highly regarded lawyer in that city that I personally used for my own business. And I'm hoping that whatever the issues are on this particular piece of property, this deal will be resolved, and that there has been no shenanigans associated to it. It makes me sad to hear this. Simultaneously, as I was having this conversation with her and sending her some information, I was having the conversation with this other realtor that I respect in the industry, and he was telling me that he recently was asked by the brokerage he works for to stop talking about negative equity. And he said, thoughts? Well, I have thoughts. And my thoughts are such that I basically believe that you, as my client, should be informed. So I use social media. I will call you, I will send newsletters, I will talk to you, I will answer any questions that are sent my way via email. And I believe strongly that I never ever want any of my clients to get into a position where negative equity is a problem for them. I personally didn't have any clients that purchased over the last 2.5 years that are in a negative equity situation. I was very cognizant of that. I had no problems with telling my clients based on comparables in the area of whether or not I felt like a property was overpriced. And they were many times happy to walk away from something because we have to be fiscally responsible in that respect. It's a very substantial purchase that you're making, and I think it's important that you understand the implications of the values of what you're purchasing and what it will do to you going forward, affecting your credit, affecting future purchases, stagnating you so that you can't actually afford to live your life, because I don't, that becomes you're housebound, house poor, and that is the worst situation to be in. As interest rates rise, because they can't stay low forever, this is a situation that I'm seeing more and more now where people are struggling, none of my people are struggling to make payments as they renegotiate new interest rates. With refinancing their property. So I never want to see you in a situation with negative equity. When the other agent asked me what my thoughts were, I had said to him, well, my thoughts are such that I will never be quiet about something like this. This has nothing to do with talking down other agents. This is specifically letting people know that this is my stance on this. And as your advocate, if you choose to work with me and consult with me, I will most definitely give you, I give you high value no matter what. So I will tell you what you may not want to hear, and I'm okay with that because ultimately the end goal is for you to find a property or sell a property or to meet your goals. In order to do that, you have to understand all of the financial implications that are associated with it. So I feel that you should have a very good understanding of what negative equity is. I don't want to see any of my current clients or future clients ever experience anything like this. We don't have a crystal ball. We don't know where the economy is going. My personal opinion and prediction right now is, are we going into a recession? Yes. Actually, we are in a recession already, but nobody really talks about it. Are we going to see a market crash in real estate? That I have no idea on. I definitely have been seeing a correction. It's been consistent. Can we compare it to 07, 08 with what happened in the States? And I don't necessarily know if that will happen. Canada's housing market jumped significantly. The only difference between Canada and the US is that we are heavily, as you all know, if you're applying for a mortgage, regulated in the mortgage industry, and that will and has contributed to saving our country and economy for that respect. That being said, we've never had a prime minister that has gleefully printed out money on the level that he has and handed it out to people during what's referred to as unprecedented times. Anyhow, those are my opinions. I do and am seeing a market correction, but I'm still seeing property values hold their own, which I think is really important. I don't ever want to see you get into a negative equity situation with a property purchase, whether it be investment or your primary home. So if you have any questions, I will happily send you comparables for your area or any other information you may need, want, require to make an informed decision. I think it's very important that you're educated and you have a toolkit that is full of knowledge and information so you can confidently purchase a home. That's all for now. Ciao guys, love y'all, bye-bye.